The 3-1 Padres are lined up, ready to go against the rival Giants. It's game 2. And welcome to Petco Park on an overcast Wednesday afternoon as the Padres and Giants complete this brief 2-game series. The World Series champions in for their first visit in San Diego. And we're especially pleased to have joining Mark Grant and myself, Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn. We were without you yesterday, and those fans were still cheering for you. You were up other duties, obviously.
Yeah, I was up at Long Beach State, but it's so nice to be back in the booth with you guys.
Good to have you back, too.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Mark, yesterday, the standout was the 3-run third inning for the Padres, but the top of the third, Aaron Harang's pitching.
It was really good to see Aaron Harang out there. I don't think you had a Hollywood playwright write a better script. Family and friends in attendance, and Aaron had it all working. Locating the fastball, but the one pitch that really stuck out to me was the slider, especially down and away to the righties and down and into the lefties. He had it working. A great 6 innings. He punched out 6 for their first outing, the home opener yesterday for the victory.
And that's been the formula. I mean, they won 90 games last year doing it exactly that way. Starters going 6 innings. You see the numbers already, 25 innings, 2.52 ERA, only 6 walks. The formula continues to work. Aaron Harang just stepped in there, gave him 6 innings yesterday. They went to the bullpen, and again, Padres found a way to win a game.
Oh, they love to pitch in Petco Park.
Yes, they do.
Matt Latos will rejoin that staff, and that's further good news for that whole pitching numbers for the home team. Let's look at the matchup today. Our pitching matchup will feature Tim Lincecum, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. 3.43 for him was a down year, and yet he still won 16 games. And for the Padres, Tim Stauffer, sharp in St. Louis, didn't get the win, but he kept the Padres in position to get that victory against the Cardinals. And the pitching matchup is brought to you by Discount Tire, where America saves on tires. Adjacent to the gas lamp district, of course, that area of our city comes to life as the neons brighten as part of the effect of this baseball park and what it's done to our inner city, bringing it a true rich and warm heartbeat. Well, the Padres and Tim Stauffer would like nothing better than take the World Series champions out 2 times in this brief series. Stauffer was especially effective in September and won the penultimate game on that Saturday in San Francisco that kept hopes alive for San Diego to make it into the playoffs. And his pitcher profile is brought to you by your San Diego County Cadillac dealer. Stop in today for attractive lease and purchase offers.
Well, I guess good things come to those who wait, huh? Tim Stauffer's been waiting a long time. He had a good outing in St. Louis and no decision. And like you mentioned earlier, Dick, we talked about it many times how Stauffer, like these pitchers for the Padres, have kept their team in the game. Hopefully it carries over to this home start against the San Francisco Giants.
And here's the lineup for Bruce Bochy, against which Stauffer will be pitching. Torres, it's the same lineup as yesterday except for the pitcher Lincecum. Torres, Sanchez, Huff hits third. Buster Posey, the catcher in the cleanup spot. Pablo Sandoval at third. Pat Burrell in left. Brandon Belt, the rookie first baseman, hits seventh. Former Padre Miguel Tejada at short, batting eighth. And then Lincecum, who can handle the bat pretty well himself. And as Lincecum takes his turn, we're going to get Tony Gwynn as a hitter to analyze what makes this young guy at 5'11" and 157 so doggone effective. But first, it's Stauffer trying to use that natural sinker ball to shackle the San Francisco attack of Bruce Bochy. Bochy frustrated. They've outscored the opposition the first 5 games, 20 runs to 16, and they've won 1 and lost 4. Yesterday's game, typical, close, but the Giants unable to come up with a win. First pitch of the game is in there for a strike. Tim McClellan kind of hides that right arm. You got to peek around him. He's the tallest of all the major league umpires at 6 feet 6 inches. Torres sends a high fly to Maben in left center.
Not today, huh?
Cruises in for the catch. Torres had a base hit to open yesterday and scored the only run. Padres defense is brought to you by Big O Tires, the team you trust. Call 1-800-NEW-TIRE. Stauffer and Hundley with Headley, Bartlett, Hudson, and Hop around the corners of the infield. Ludwig, Maben, and Venable left to right in the outfield. Will Venable been rested for a few days, back in the lineup, as is Brad Hop with the right-hander on the mound today. First pitch strike to Freddie Sanchez. He leads the Giants with those 7 base hits. Scored 3 runs. That's also tops here in the early going. Just off the corner. And McClellan, through the years, known for his tight strike zone. See how tall he is. In fact, he used to call balls and strikes on one knee, remember? Now he's trying to get a broader stance and get down into that strike zone.
Tim said after many years it's the knees and the back that was giving him problems, so now he's just going to the squat behind home plate to get a good view.
That ball is hit well to right center, and Maben racing and can't get there. A potential triple as Sanchez rounds second, and here comes the relay. Not in time. In fact, not even a throw. Well, the Giants fans have a chance to cheer. They were pretty quiet yesterday.
That's a tough ball for Maben. It just kept slicing away from him. Sanchez kind of inside out at this ball to right center field. And Maven's on the run. It looked like he had a beat on it, but it just kept slicing away, and he just couldn't come up with it.
Well, what a great effort, because Will Venable is there to, just in case that ball hits the glove, he's there. But after Maben lays out, it's Will that's getting the ball back into the infield.
So a 1-out chance for the Giants to score first, as was the case yesterday. Aubrey Huff. Left throw by Hundley. Huff 4 for 19 on the new year. His ground ball out in the first inning yesterday brought Sanchez home from, or Torres home from third with the only San Francisco run. Rounds this one fair, and that'll get the runner home here today. On his way to second is Huff as Venable gets it in. Couple of extra base knocks by the Giants, and they lead 1-0. Huff with his 5th RBI to lead the club.
That looked like a breaking ball down and into Huff, and he just put it over the bag. First base umpire Ted Barrett, he was right in the middle of this. That little cutter down and in, he missed with location. He wanted that one away.
It just looked like perfect placement by Aubrey Huff right down the line. Red Hot wasn't able to he would make a dive for that ball. Drives in the run and gives the Giants an early lead.
And here's Buster Posey, 5 for 20 at the start of this year. Has just one RBI, but a chance to pick up Huff here with one out in the opening inning.
You know, I just wanted to make a point about Tim Stauffer. He doesn't have the overpowering stuff. He's got good pitches. He has good pitches, I should say. So if he misses with location, that's when the Giant hitters can exploit that. He wanted to backdoor that little cutter, that slider. It leaked on the inside part of the plate and then sped up the bat of Huff.
2-0 to Posey. And with Lincecum, the opposing pitcher today, you don't want to give the Giants too many runs for him to lean on.
No, you sure don't.
Tony, I know you analyze a lot of hitters. You like to watch guys take their swings, but this is one guy, Dick and I have talked about it. It seems like he does everything just right. He can fight off a pitch and go the other way. He can spin on a fastball the inside part of the plate. He can stay back on a breaking ball.
You're right, and that's what good hitters do. I mean, they make hitting look easy, and Buster Posey does that. He doesn't really try to do too much. He'll take what you give him, and he'll make you pay.
Off the edge, 3-1.
And that pitch is what I'm talking about. The 2-1. You know, you're looking for something to drive in that run, and Stauffer's trying to just pick off the outside corner, and he's not biting. He's going to make you give him something good to hit.
Up with his lead at second. And there's a drive to deep left field, and that's trouble. It's deep. It is gone. Oh, my. Triple, double, home run. And the Giants jump out 3-0. First home run of the season for Buster Posey. Roughing up Tim Stauffer at the opening bell.
Well, let's see what the pitch is. The fastball count, but it was an off-speed pitch, slider, a little cutter. And look, just judging by that swing, his body was out of it, but he got behind that ball. He kept his hands back. Just makes it to the first row. Not really the prettiest swing, but he's just so darn strong. And it was over the heart of the plate. He got all of it.
And that's him not trying to do too much. That's him taking what Stauffer gave him. And even though he was fooled, he still had enough to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Sandoval steps in, and Stauffer quickly falls behind. 2 balls, no strikes. We didn't see any team do this to Stauffer last year, and there's another base hit. Sandoval going the opposite way for his 6th hit of the new season, and Darren Bowlesley going to go out and talk with Stauffer. So the Giants in the first inning have hit for the cycle as a team.
I think one of the things Darren Bowlesley might say to Tim Stauffer is, you know, just leaving too many pitches over the heart of the plate. Tim has to locate the fastball. The breaking ball has to stay on the outside part of the plate to the right-handed hitters. He cannot afford to leave that ball over and speed up the hitters' bats. He did that to Huff, and he did it to Posey.
Posey's home run just over the 357 sign in left field. He took the short route. Good for a couple more runs, and still only 1 out, and Sandoval at first base. Triple, double, home run, single. 4 consecutive hits and the team cycle. Pat Burrell. He's 3 for 18, but 2 of his 3 hits home runs.
Here's another guy, another perfect example. Getting long in the tooth, right? Pat Burrell doesn't have the bat speed as he had once when he was a rookie. So what does that tell you? If he's going to throw an off-speed pitch, it better not be for a strike right down the middle. Got to be on the outside part of the plate.
Could be 2 here as Headley to Hudson to Hop. The 3 H's on the infield, and finally the Giants are out. But they get 3 runs, 4 hits, and take an early jump for Tim Lincecum. And 4 close losses to start the season. Get 3 in the first for Tim Lincecum. As we look at Lincecum's marks, he pitched against LA. There's his last season report card. Didn't allow an earned run and took a loss as the Giants didn't score for him against Los Angeles. And here's the bad news, folks. Lincecum, when the Giants score 3 runs, which they already have, or more, he is 45-3.
That's terrible.
3 teams did win. They did come back and win.
There's the glass half full. Well, let's see how the Padres do. Will Venable starts it off. He's 2 for 9.
If they can put together some good at-bats, and be patient, and Tony Gwynn knows that. You get a base runner here or there, and you start chipping away. Lincecum throws the fastball, the split, the curve, and the slider.
Down low again, 2-0.
You talk about a guy who's a horse. Since 2008, in 2008, 227 innings. 09, 225.
Oh no, he gets the strike call there. Got to wait for McClellan. He's very deliberate with his signals.
And then last year, 212 innings. So this guy's going to give you about 220 innings a year.
And that's with striking out more than any other pitcher in the league. I mean, last year he fanned 265, 2009 261, 2008 231. So he strikes out more than a batter per inning on average. And he gets Venable on a check swing to open the first inning for the Padres. Look at the Padres starting lineup. It's brought to you by Evans Tire and Service Centers, home of the free alignment. Bartlett at shortstop. Orlando Hudson drops a notch in the batting order, as does Bartlett against a right-hander. Brad Hopp hitting cleanup, looking for his first Padre hit. Left field, Ryan Ludwig. Then it's Headley, Maben, Nick Hundley, the one hot hitter for the Padres, hitting 8th, and then the pitcher Stauffer.
I was gonna say off Lincecum here, when he gets ahead, it's the changeup and the split. His off-speed stuff is just extremely difficult to hit.
Oh, and then you add in the yacker right there. My goodness, that's an 80-mile-an-hour curveball.
Quickly ahead of Jason Bartlett, 2 strikes.
And if this guy gets locked in early, folks, it's going to be tough.
Smothered foul. Still fascinating how this man of such modest stature has so much power, and he's so different from every other pitcher. Now, if you didn't know who he was and he showed up at San Diego State and you watched him just throw 5 pitches, not velocity, just to look at his form.
Oh, we got to change that.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't every coach try to change it?
So that's an arm injury we're just waiting to happen. And but obviously he trusts what he does, because his mechanics, even though it's unusual, are still very good. And you can tell because hitters just don't pick up the baseball very well off of it.
2-2. And the idea that he strides longer than any pitcher in baseball. 7.5-foot stride. That's a foot longer than his height. Most pitchers are within their height on their stride.
The one thing I look at when I look at Lincecum, a lot of leverage, right? He's creating a lot of leverage with his delivery. But if you look at the delivery as a whole, I think he utilizes his whole body as a big shock absorber. It's just not all arm. He's using his legs. He's using his hips. He's using his shoulders. All that momentum's going towards home plate, absorbing that shock.
Strikeout number 2. 2 for 2 is Lincecum. Look at the defensive alignment of the Giants, brought to you by North County GMC, a Southern California tradition for over 20 years. Sandoval Tejada, Sanchez Belt around the horn. Burrell, Torres, Huff in the outfield. Posey behind the plate, handling Tim Lincecum. And here's Orlando Hudson.
Tony, I was thinking if he would have showed up at San Diego State, the first thing would be to see the barber.
You don't have a hair coat there, do you?
I don't, but you know what? I've relaxed as I've gotten older. After going through this ordeal this past winter. You want to grow a beard? Go ahead.
Just pick your battles.
Yeah. I just want him to play well. It doesn't really matter what you look like.
They could all look like Lincecum if they can pitch.
Absolutely. If you could throw like him, we could.
Dick, you were talking about his stature, right? Tim Lincecum, freshman in high school, 4'11", 85 pounds.
And he was striking them out there.
Yeah. Freshman in college, he hit a growth spurt, 5'9", 135.
He's now 5'11", 157. Hudson stays alive. Out 2 strikes on him. Orlando 2 for 13. Looking for his first hit from the left side. Strike 3. The delayed call from McClellan. And Lincecum with a 3-run lead strikes out the side. Oh my. Three 0 San Francisco against Tim Stauffer. See if he settles down here in the second. Belt 2 for 17. This young guy that they're so excited about up in the Bay Area. Only his second pro season. 1-1.
Boy, if the Giants can hit the lottery and have the year like they had last year with Buster Posey, and then have this kid come up, that's a great right-left combo from the batter's box. But Tony, young kids coming up, it's not like hitting AA guys. It's not like going to instructional league. The sliders are a little more exploding up here, and the fastballs are located a little better.
Now, the other thing is, Bruce Bochy's got to give him an opportunity to show whether or not he can make it at this level.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Stauffer has his first strikeout. Brings up Miguel Tejada, had a double yesterday. The bus driver.
Here's that slider from Tim Stauffer, down and in, great location, and that is one of the adjustments that Belt is going to have to make.
Tejada 5 for 21. There's a strike. Tejada, 19 consecutive years he started. Do or die charge by Headley, unable to come up with it. In betweener, got him.
If they tried to come in and get that on the short hop. With Tejada running, he might have had a chance to stay back maybe and make this play, but he committed to coming in and trying to get it on the short hop. Ball bounced over his glove, and Tejada's on first base.
I totally agree with you, Tony. Had plenty of time to square up on that and take it.
Beautiful bunt by Lincecum. Almost thrown away by Hop. There's Tejada, safe on the air by Headley, moves into second base, and Lincecum, that's his 39th sacrifice in his brief career in San Francisco. You can see just does that well too.
That's going to help you win ball games. Getting that guy in the scoring position, moving the guy from second to third base or first to second.
Torres then with a chance to add to the 3-0 lead. He flied to deep left center his first time up. That ball's hit well down in the corner, slicing and foul, just foul. I don't think Ludwig would have caught it had it landed in fair territory.
Just like the ball Sanchez hit in the first inning, that ball was slicing. Ludwig looked like he had a beat on, but it was just slicing away from him, and then luckily for the Padres, it sliced into foul territory.
Two out. Tejada at second. .90-mile-an-hour miss from Stauffer. Now the Padres off tomorrow, and then we'll welcome the Dodgers on Friday night, a 3-game weekend series. Fouled, and it's 1-2. Here are the matchups this weekend. I know many of you have already made your ticket plans. We expect some very large crowds Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. It'll be Clayton Richard against Ted Lilly, a battle of left-handers Friday night. Dustin Mosley goes against Hiroki Kuroda on Saturday, and Harang and Kershaw on Sunday. And then the Reds, leading the major leagues in hitting this first week of the season, come in Monday, Tuesday nights, and next Wednesday afternoon.
Well, that'll be a good test for the Padre pitching staff. That red leg lineup.
Yeah, you're right, dude. That's a very good offensive club.
Just missed. You wait for McClellan because he usually goes 1001, 1002, and now I'm going to tell you what the pitch was, and that one just missed. 3-2, he says.
You know what? This matchup right here, Stauffer and Torres, they both had appendicitis. It seems to be an epidemic going around these days.
In the dirt, and Torres draws a walk. First from Stauffer. So first and second, 2 out, and Freddie Sanchez, who tripled into the right center field gap his first time up, has an opportunity to add damage.
But Matt Holliday going down, and now Adam Dunn is going to be out with appendicitis. So if any of you guys have like these feelings down your lower right abdomen, I'm calling the doctor.
Become fashionable.
It's unbelievable.
Stauffer was sidelined almost a couple of months with his, and they're saying Matt Holliday may come back in 7 to 10 days.
He said he didn't want to go on a DL. He wanted not to put him on a DL because he thought he'd be well enough to play.
Speaking of coming off the DL, Brian Wilson, the ace reliever for the Giants, is active today. Looper and Hop in foul territory takes care of it. No runs, no hits, an error, and a couple left for the Giants. It'll be Hop, Ludwig, and Headley coming up. It off the first baseman looking for his first base hit as a Padre. He's 0 for 10. And of the Padres in the lineup today, he has struck out more against Lincecum than any other San Diego player in his career head-to-head. You're just joining us. Lincecum mowed down the side on strikes in the first inning. Venable swinging, Bartlett swinging, and Hudson on a called third strike. Changeup in for a strike.
And that's where he's so tough. His off-speed stuff is so good right around the plate. Late movement.
Good arm action, too. It's the same arm action as the fastball.
4 in a row.
And, you know, he's not overpowering. It's 92. But he's got some deception with that delivery and a little bit of run on that fastball to put him away.
Last 3 years, no one even close. More than 100 strikeouts ahead of Justin Verlander in the second spot. So this is not abnormal at all. This is Lincecum, a strikeout pitcher, having his way. Ryan Ludwig 2 for 13 at the start, and finally a ball in play. Sandoval, he always makes it interesting when he winds to throw over there, able to get Ludwig. Third baseman Chase Headley, the hitter.
Well, the defense was getting a little bored, so Lincecum's probably, I'm going to let him put one in play. Get his third baseman a little action.
Well, that's and it works to Lincecum's favor in that he punches out the first 4 guys, and Ludwig, you know, I'm going to get me something good to hit early in the camp. Swings at the first pitch, gets the ground ball.
1-1 to Headley. He's a terrific athlete. You know, he can do a backflip from a standing position. He can walk on his hands. You know, I can't even walk on my feet. I mean, that's something. I mean, that's eye popping when a guy can walk around the locker room on his hands. 2-1 to Chase.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know this for a fact, but I can tell you one thing. Tim Lincecum, when he was a kid, when they had everybody on the playground and you picked, I'll guarantee you the first time and only time, he was the last pick. Because then after everybody saw what he could do, I guarantee you he was probably the first pick.
I'll take the little guy.
He was probably a great athlete all the way through.
Foul tip. No, he didn't get a piece of it. He went after a ball in the dirt, and that's 5 strikeouts in 2 innings for Tim Lincecum. We may be looking in on something really special today. 5 start as we salute the military for their remarkable service. All personnel in uniform receive 50% off their tickets. Kids 14 and younger, you get a treat too. You'll receive a Heath Bell poster. Visit Padres.com. Get your tickets Sunday. It'll be Harang against Kershaw of the Dodgers. Aubrey Huff doubled in a run in the first inning. A ground ball over the bag at first. And then he scored on Posey's home run. Changeup gets him out in front, 1-2. Just as Lincecum's father, Chris, a semi-pro player, really molded his son and his pitching mechanics. Ooh, how did that miss? So did Tim Stauffer's father, who pitched collegiate ball at St. Joseph's of Pennsylvania, built a mound in the backyard of their home in Saratoga Springs, New York. Tony, you grew up as a two-sports star. When you were those formative years, 13, 14, 15, did you think it was going to be basketball or baseball?
I thought it was going to be basketball. You know, I played baseball really to stay busy until basketball season started again.
Stauffer called off by Hundley, and he throws it away. An awkward throw, and safe on the second error committed by the Padres is Aubrey Huff. And Hundley out there to try to settle down the right-hander. Upset.
I think on this ball there was a little bit of miscommunication on who was going to take this ball. And Stauffer took it, and you see he hurries to throw, and he really had time to set his feet and make a strong throw. But the miscommunication at the beginning of that play, I think, really set up what happened at the end.
So he, with the throwing error, sets the table for Posey, Sandoval, and Burrell to add to the 3-0 lead. And off-speed strike.
And even though Aubrey Huff does not have blazing speed, still Tim Stauffer has to work out of the stretch to Buster Posey. Pitchers feel a lot more comfort in the comfort zone going from the windup.
Base hit to center field, not hit hard, but placed perfectly. Huff turns and will hold at second base. So Posey 2 for 2, a line drive home run and a Texas leaguer.
There's that inside pitch I was talking about earlier, Tony. He fights those pitches off so well.
Again, that's, he hit an off-speed pitch for a home run there. The fastball kind of beats him in, and he's still strong enough to get it out to the outfield, right center field for a base hit, and that's what makes Posey such a good hitter, is that his ability to hit the ball wherever it's pitched and
what a great swing.
And use the whole field. Yeah, and it's a short, compact swing.
Here's Sandoval. He singled to left his first at bat. High fly ball, center field, deep part of the yard. Thank goodness for the Padres, and may have been able to go back and collect it. Huff tags and goes to third. So first and third, one out for Pat Burrell, who grounded into a 5-4-3 double play his first trip. Yeah, more and more, Tony, and we were looking at the Posey swing and Sandoval as well, and others. You know, I think back to the old great New York Giant Mel Ott, who hit 511 home runs, if I'm recalling it correctly, and he had that lift the right foot, left-handed hitter stance, kind of almost like a pitcher throwing a ball, and then he would place his foot and swing. And more batters are doing that, it seems, these years. How do you account for that?
Well, I think a lot of guys like to use it for timing, and you know, Buster Posey, Sandoval, both of those guys are leg kick guys that you know, use the leg kick as the starter of their swing, the thing that gets their swing started. And, you know, a lot of guys in the game today are using the leg kick, and that's, you know, there's a million different ways to do it the right way. And you know, whether you're a leg kick guy or a guy that starts your hands, the biggest thing is you want to be in position to swing the bat when the ball comes through the zone.
Speaking of Mel Ott, 22 big league seasons, he hit 511 home runs and At the time, that was an unorthodox swing.
Yeah.
Now, many players.
So you look at those old highlights of older ball players, and you see they just attack the ball that's up in the zone. That tells me there wasn't a whole lot of cheddar being thrown up there in the old days. I mean,
look at that.
You got guys today throwing 95, 96 miles per hour, on a regular basis.
Well, the one thing I noticed on that video that we just saw was that it was ugly up into the point to where he got that front foot down.
Absolutely.
And then the bat coming through the zone. From that point on, it's a pretty swing.
And it's the same swing you see in today's game.
Broken back ground ball. Hundley goes to second for one, and now they throw to the plate on a delayed move, and they get him. Huff trying to slide in under the tag, an unusual double play, 5-4-2. As Burrow wraps into a twin killing 2 times in a row. Well, that saves further trouble. Late break by Huff, and a solid throw by Hudson to get him at the plate. At the park, where you can enjoy fresh Mexican food and a happy hour 7 days a week. By Permadontics, Southern California's premier dental implant center, and by Cox Digital Telephone. Saving so good, you'll want to tell everyone. Well, Tim Stauffer has pitched 9 innings in the season, 6 in St. Louis, 3 today. 9 innings, and has thrown 5 double play balls. That's that old sinker working.
Absolutely, and sometimes that cutter down and away off the end of the bat will create. This is a jam shot because the bat starts going. Tony, I thought Hudson had a chance to get Burrow at first, but he elects to go to home plate.
Yeah, and I agree. I thought he had a chance to turn it at first base, but Hudson might not have thought because of the slide he had a chance to turn it, so he throws it home. And perfect throw to Hundley, and they get the double. They get the unorthodox double.
They get the
play.
call too. That was. I thought he might have been in under that tag.
I'm just wondering if he maybe thought there was only, there was nobody out, or he forgot how many outs there were. I don't know, because Burrow doesn't have speed down the first baseline.
Cameron Maben, 1 ball, 1 strike to the Padres center fielder. Again, if you're just joining us, Tim Lincecum, first 2 innings, has struck out 5 men. Overmatched was Maben. 1-2.
I just heard a fan yell, "Get a haircut!"
He is the giant Samson, not in physique, but in skill. Pitched for the University of Washington after graduating from high school in Renton. 3-2 the count. Strikeout number 6. Badly fooled was Maben. What was this pitch?
That was the old slider from Tim Lincecum. We've talked about the fastball at 92, 93. We talked about the split finger. He uses that as his changeup. That is the slider, down and away. Not even close.
Yeah, late breaking, too. Even goes right over the top of that.
That was ball 4. Nick Hundley, the one Padre, enjoying hitting success early, 8 for 15. And he drives this one deep to left field. They're going to have to throw ice water on Hundley. He's hot, and he will touch them all. How big is the fact that Maben, hitting in front of Hundley, swung at that ball 4? It'd be a 3-2 game. He really got all of this one.
You see Posey wanted that ball away, and it kind of ran towards the inner half of the plate.
That was a 95 mile an hour first pitch fastball. Cacao! Out of here. That went into the upper tank, folks. That's a bolt.
5 games into the season, Hundley is hit for the cycle. Fly ball by Stauffer, but playing shallow was right fielder Huff. Grabbed the second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, and Will Venable. So Hundley amongst the National League leaders. In fact, his batting average starting today, .533, was best in the National League, and he's just one shy of Starlin Castro for most hits.
Now, Tony, I heard Nick Hundley do an interview, and it sounded like you were doing the interview because no, and here's why I say his answer. Somebody said, "Why are you swinging the bat so well?" And he said, and I know you say this all the time, "I'm seeing the ball extremely well." And I heard you say that so many times.
Well, I asked him about it today in batting practice, and he said exactly that. He's seeing the ball real well. He's not trying to do too much, just trying to put his best swing on pitches that he's seen.
1-2 now to Venable, who struck out swinging his first time. So Hundley, that's quite remarkable. In 5 games, has a single, double, triple, and a home run. Now 9 for 16.
I think the other factor for Hundley is, he knows he's going to be in the lineup every day, and he wants to show that he can handle.
Venable goes down again. Number 7 for Lincecum. But the Padres, renewed hope. They get a home run from Nick Hundley. And after 3 innings here at Petco, it's the Giants 3 and the Padres 1. Giants order: Belt, Tejada, and the pitcher Lincecum. Stauffer gets a run, and it's a 3-1 game.
And after giving up those 3 runs, he knows he's got to try to keep the Giants here at bay. And and hope that the Padre offense could peck their way back into this game.
Well, Hundley's home run proves that Lincecum not invincible, and some hope renewed. Time for our trivia question, brought to you by AT&T Wireless right after this pitch. 2-1. How many Cy Young votes did the great Juan Marichal, Hall of Fame right-hander of the Giants, receive over the entire course of his career? How many Cy Young votes? Now, I know you're not going to get the answer to that, but the answer is so surprising it's a good trivia question. 2-2 now on Brandon Belt. We'll give you the answer the next half inning. Juan Marichal. Drive by Belt. Trying to cut it off is Venable. He does, and holds Belt to a long single. Brandon did belt that one to right center. Speaking of Marichal, the Dominican dandy, 243 big league wins. 244 complete games, rather, in his 16-year career. That can't be right. 244 complete games.
Unbelievable. I mean, those guys back then, they got the ball in the first and it was taken away from them in the ninth. Here it is, kid. Go get them. And Juan Marichal really wasn't a big old horse either. You know, he didn't have. He wasn't 6'3" and 240.
Yeah.
But like Lincecum, had a most unusual delivery. 244 complete games in 16 years of his career. And you match that with, well, the Giants last year. The team had 6 complete games. 4 by Matt Cain.
Specialization. 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, closer. Juan Marichal was everything wrapped into one with all those guys. He was the starter. He was the middle guy. He was the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guy.
So doing the quick math on that, in 16 seasons, he averaged over 15 complete games per year. The entire team, again, of the Giants last year, only 6 completed. Runner goes, and that ball fouled off the front leg of Tejada. Tough schedule for these Giants. People, baseball office weren't very kind to the champions. They play only 9 home games in their first 31. Bruce Bochy's team finally get home for their opener and the celebration of their World Series title on Friday in St. Louis.
As tough as that is, I always like the fact that you get more games at home in the second half. Get more games at home later on when it might mean something. And if you're as good a team as you think you are early in the year, going out on the road is not that big a deal. But Boch getting off to a 1-4 start, I'm sure he wants his team to get things turned around.
Ground ball to short, could be a double play. 6-4-3. Stauffer now with 10 double plays in 11 innings.
Well, if the pitchers for the San Diego Padres continue to hit their spots down in the zone, you're going to see a lot of this, folks. And that's quite all right with everybody on the pitching staff, whether it's 6-4-3, 4-6-3, any way you turn it. 2 is some kind of nice for Tim Stauffer. Beautiful.
Excuse me. 10 innings now for Stauffer with 6 double plays, 3 in St. Louis and 3 more today. Brings up Lincecum, a 129 career average. How about Chris Young yesterday? 3 for 3 and wins it for the Mets. See why? Hit him, clean him.
I saw the highlights of that. He stood in there nicely, swinging that well.
2-1 to Lincecum.
Really, with him, just happy to see he's healthy enough where he can go out there and pitch against.
Tough play for Headley. On the run, just does get Lincecum. Ball would have gone foul, but Headley figured he's going to get Lincecum and makes a tough play. That's it for the 4th for the Giants. 1 San Francisco. Time for the AT&T Wireless Trivia answer. The high-kicking Juan Marichal in his great career with the Giants. How many votes did he receive for the Cy Young Award? Can you believe that? 1 vote in 16 years. That means the competition was mighty tough, and we'll run down though. First of all, for the first 7 years of the run from 1960 to 66, they only had 1 Major League Cy Young winner, not both leagues. And here are the names that won it: Vern Law, Whitey Ford, Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, Dean Chance, Sandy Koufax, Sandy Koufax. And then when the National League had their own Cy Young, he got 1 vote during that whole course. Mike McCormick, Bob Gibson, Fergie Jenkins, Gibson again. Rolled by Bartlett to third, and an easy play for Sandoval. First down in the 4th. Steve Carlton, Tom Seaver, Mike Marshall, and Tom Seaver again. So Marichal gets 1 vote in 16 years.
That's some tough competition. You look at those guys.
It's hard to believe, though, that he only got 1 vote.
Yeah.
And that was like for 8th place one year.
How about Marichal in 1968? 38 starts, 30 complete games.
Close the deal.
He sits at our table at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
We're the Punch and Judy table, we call it. He sits with us.
You and Ozzie?
And Ozzie. And
who else?
Rod Carew and Ricky Henderson. All the singles hitters. We're all at the same table. And Orlando Cepeda and Juan Marichal sits at our table. And believe me, when they start telling stories, it is hilarious. Those two, Cepeda and Marichal, are hilarious.
Hudson checks. It's 2-1.
You have to pinch yourself sometimes, Tony. When
every year I sit there and can't believe I'm actually in a room with these guys. It's unbelievable.
3-1. Of all those Hall of Famers, though, was there one that you said, if I could sit next to you every time, who would it be?
You know what? It's funny you say that, Dick, because I sit next to him every year. It's Rod Carew. He was my idol, really, growing up. I sit next to him every year.
High pop-up. Might be a play. Catcher Posey back to the screen, and he's got it. Well, I had the privilege of calling Rod Carew's 3,000th career hit. And what I marveled from the time he was a rookie from Panama coming up with the Minnesota Twins, his ability to use all of the batter spots.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 100 different stances.
You're right. I talk about that all the time with him. And, I said you were the first guy I ever saw go up to the plate with golf gloves on.
I remember that.
And you're right. He certain guys he hit in the back of the box. Some guys he'd hit, in the front. Sometimes he'd get as far away from the plate and lean over. But he was a great hitter.
Hand-eye coordination.
Yes,
as you were blessed as well. Very quiet when he first came up to the big leagues. He was tough to interview. And I can remember that while doing the Angel games, they said, hey, you've got to interview Rod Carew. He's going for a batting title again this year. I said, yeah, he just doesn't want to talk to anyone, especially a visiting reporter. And I'll never forget a little incident. It taught me a lot as a sportscaster. I went over to Harmon Killebrew, and I was talking to Killebrew, and I saw Killebrew looking over my shoulder. Didn't know who he was looking at, and all he did was to nod his head. And he was nodding to Rod Carew as if to say, hey, Enberg's okay. You should talk to him. Forever grateful.
Well, he talks about that, how hard he was on the media. And the year he got voted into the Hall of Fame, he said he was actually surprised. Because the media, the writers were the ones who voted him in. And he was feeling like he was hoping to make it in because he knew he hadn't been as courteous to the media as he should have been. And you know what? There were a couple of guys in there that talk about that. Eddie Murray says the same thing. And,
Ted Williams going way back.
Of course, Mr. Williams said that all the time.
3-2 fouled away by Hop, trying to get on there with 2 outs in the 4th inning, and Lincecum working with a 3-1 lead. Is Rod still involved with the Angel organization?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Strike 3. Pop knew it. He was on his way to the dugout as McClellan rung him up. 8 strikeouts for Lincecum. His all-time high is 15.
Recap brought to you by Murray Lampert Construction, architectural design and quality remodeling under one roof. Visit murraylampert.com or get on the horn and call 619-285-9222 to see what they can do for you. Mr. Enberg?
All right, Mark Grant. Boy, these two teams are working quickly through the in-between innings time. 2-0 now the count. Stauffer working on leadoff hitter Andres Torres. There's a strike. Fly to center. And walk. Torres followed by Sanchez and Aubrey Huff. Pleased you're with us on this midweek afternoon game. Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Season now completing its first week. Dodgers won today, by the way. No, they did not. Colorado beat them 7-5, so Colorado starts 3-1. Arizona with a win at Wrigley 6-4 today against the Cubs. Over but low. Well, there's, as they say, ways to skin the cat or skin the Giants. For Stauffer, it's 3 double play balls. For Lincecum against the Padres, striking everyone out. Except Hundley, who crushed the home run.
Just a few bad pitches from Tim Stauffer. The one to Huff, leaked over the heart of the plate. Of course, the home run to Posey. And he has settled down, no doubt, with the help of that double play ball after the first inning.
3-2. And Torres is on again. He's walked twice. The only free tickets from Stauffer as we go beyond the box score. Brought to you by Toyota of El Cajon. We want you to know that they're going green to save you green. There's the Diamondbacks, a 12-hit attack at Chicago. The D-backs, Chris Young with a big day, double and a triple, and the Dodgers losing 7-5. Todd Helton with a big blow, a 3-run home run that hit the top of the fence and kicked into the stands. Just made it, but a big swing by Helton. 4 or 5 home runs in that game. Tulowitzki turned on one. Young outfielder Thames of the Dodgers, we'll see him on Friday. He homered. So did Loney.
I think it's going to be a good race in the National League West this year. The world champion Giants, everybody loves their pitching, but like I said, there's different ways to skin a cat. Padres formula is not bad either.
I can just hear the calls from PETA coming in. Talking about skinning
Oh,
cats.
sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Come on. You're talking. Come on.
The Colorado Rockies are the team that I think might just be the one to beat.
I agree. I think they got a dynamic offense in Colorado. The question is going to be if they pitch well enough. But
remember last year, Tulowitzki was out, what, a couple of months almost, wasn't he?
Yep.
He'd have been the most valuable player in the league had he been able to, complete the full season. I mean, he's just such a tough out, and then, of course, plays terrific shortstop as well.
Garcia is another player that just
Carlos
Gonzalez. I'm sorry, Gonzalez is some kind of player. I can't believe he'd been traded 3 times or 2 times in his career. He went to Colorado last year and had an MVP type of season himself.
Big numbers for Cargo.
And they locked him up just like they did years ago with Helton. But Helton's got 10 more years left on that contract?
Tulowitzki too.
Yeah.
They're both signed, Cargo and Tulowitzki, I think, into the 2020s.
Seriously, I think Helton's contract is up 2000. I think there's a club option for 2012, I believe. So this might be the last year of his deal unless the Rockies pick it up in 2012.
Well, with the big money spent on the previous players that we've mentioned, Gonzalez and Tulowitzki, it's unlikely they'll be able to dig deep again. Keeping an eye on Torres, who is the Giants' best base stealer. He had 26 last year.
And a good situational guy up here at the plate, Freddie Sanchez. He can fight off a fastball on the inside part of the plate, can flare one down the right field line.
Stauffer backs him off with the fastball, 2-2.
A former batting champion, Freddie Sanchez. And you're right, he's a guy that'll take a shot at shooting the ball to right field, hitting the hole between first and second.
He was part of the 3-run first inning against Stauffer with 1 out. Sanchez got it going with a triple to right center. He scored on Aubrey Huff's double over the first base bag. And then Posey hammered the line drive home run to left. And Sandoval followed with a single. They had a single, double, triple home run off Stauffer with only 1 out in the first inning. And a 3-0 lead. There he goes. That'll take away the double play. Headley's only move is to first base. So 3 double plays in 4 innings. Not that ball was hit hard enough to double up Sanchez. But a walk and a ground out positions Torres at second for Huff and Posey to try to add to the 3-1 lead. Huff's double, RBI double, driving in his 5th run of the season, best for the Giants. Well, the Giants had a terrific spring, best record in baseball, 18-8. That's well out of play. But for the folks that are just selling out that ballpark game after game in San Francisco, a disappointing start. They'd like to get this win and build a little momentum. An off day tomorrow, and then the big opening day for San Francisco on Friday. Line to left sharply, and that's going to score another run. Cutting it off is Ludwig, but can't come up with it cleanly, and by the time he throws it in, it's a double for Huff. His second RBI double of the game, and it's a 4-1 score.
It's nice hitting by Aubrey Huff. Ball tailing away from him, doesn't try to pull it, goes the other way with it. See Ludwig trying to cut that ball off, and he does, but not enough so that Huff can't get to second base.
Talking about Huff using the whole field. Remember the breaking ball over the bag early in the game? And like you said, Tony, good hit and taking that high fastball the opposite way.
7 hits and 4 runs for the Giants. Padres only hit a home run by Nick Hundley. Here's Posey, 2-run homer and a looping single to right, 2 for 2. Pat Neshek, sidearmer, tuning up. Worked a couple of games in St. Louis. 2 scoreless innings. Count 2-0 on Posey with first base open. He gives us a chance to go back to the first inning when he lined a Stover pitch just high enough to clear the barrier. Straightaway left field, first row. Home run number 1 for Posey, the National League Rookie of the Year last season. When he hit 305, 18 homers, 67 RBIs, and he didn't play the first 2 months. He was in the minors.
Right.
3-0.
Just an impressive young hitter. Not only did he do the things he did offensively, but taking a pitching staff that has a variety of different type of guys in it. Lincecum and Kane and Sanchez. They're able to do a great job behind the plate too.
They let him swing 3-0. Huff caught off second, and they get him. Oh, a veteran making a rookie mistake. He started toward third, but the ball hit in front of him. And quick move by Bartlett to Hudson to get the lead runner.
One thing I've been impressed with early on in the season, Jason Bartlett, he is so accurate with the flip throw. I mean, he tops his ball. Watch him from underneath the right to Orlando Hudson to make that play at second base and take away the runner in scoring position. Well, you talk about it, you're right. Rookie move, huh?
See, the other thing too is like these two have been playing together for a long time. You watch them work together, it's like they're on the same page. You saw Huff going back. He had started a third, and a lot of shortstops would have gone ahead and thrown that ball across the diamond, knowing that Huff wasn't going to try to go to third. But Bartlett came up with it. Perfect flip throw to Hudson. They get the out at second. Put the force play back in mode here with 2 outs.
I shouldn't say rookie move because there's a lot of guys, veterans alike, that will absolutely make that play. Maybe from his vantage point, he thought that ball had a chance to scoot through. So many ways of looking at it.
He's had a good day with the bat with a couple of RBI doubles, but a tough day on the bases, thrown out at second and thrown out at home.
Yeah, you're right.
What's all that dirt on the front of your uniform, Aubrey? Another base hit. Sandoval's second single. Venable cuts it off, is moving to third base. Goes Buster Posey, first and third with 2 away, and that's makes that play by Huff all the more important. That would have been a 5th run. Stauffer being cuffed around. 2 hits apiece for Huff, Posey, and Sandoval in the middle of the Giant order.
Looked like an off-speed pitch, Tony.
Yep.
Speeding up his bat. All upper body.
Yeah, way out in front of that, but he's able to hook it in the right field in the corner for a base hit.
That's going to be all for Tim Stauffer as the Giants head on their hitting close today. We'll see the sidearmer Pat Neshek when we return. San Francisco leading at 4-1. 2 on here in the top of the 5th inning, and this pitcher profile is brought to you by Lolitas at the Park, where you can enjoy quality, fresh Mexican food and a wonderful evening happy hour 7 days a week.
Time to stop the bleeding for Pat Neshek. Take a look at his numbers in the 2 games that he has twirled for the Padres. Be nice to get a quick out here. A big guy, Pat Burrell. Neshek throws the sinker and the slider, trying to do some grounder here to get out of this mess.
Burrell hit into 2 double plays, his 2 at-bats against Stauffer. Neshek inherits 1st and 3rd, 2 gone. Run home, leadoff walk to Torres pays off.
Tony, I know you talk about hitting and you talk about picking up a spot where a pitcher releases the ball. Would a delivery like Neshek kind of mess you up a little bit, or was there any guy that you faced that had a delivery similar?
Well, my thing was I didn't want my eyes to move very much. So you see, Neshek's a guy that's more a submariner than 3/4. So, rather than looking at the logo of his cap now, maybe I would look at his kneecap.
How about a guy like Gene Garber? Did you face Gene Garber?
Oh yeah, plenty. Same
kind of thing. Yeah.
He was 3/4 sidearm guy, so submarine guy. So instead of just standing out there and looking for the release point, like with them, I'd start at his kneecap and then slowly shift to wherever the ball was coming out of.
2-1. That's in there. So in softball, that underhand pitcher, the ball will, can rise or sink, and the curveball you can make it rise as well. How about the delivery in baseball? Does that ball come up?
Same kind of. I mean, some guys like to, challenge you with that submarine rising fastball.
Another ground ball. That one foul.
Mark mentioned Gene Garber. He was a guy that would sink that submarine, kind of 3/4, sink it, and then try to throw one to get you, go up in the zone, get you to chase it a little bit. So.
In talking with Neshek, he feels his out pitch. He wants to establish strikes with a fastball, but his slider is his out pitch.
By the way, Tony, you were 5 for 17 off of Gene Garber, 294 clip, and 3 for 10 off Kent Tuculve.
Quisenberry, you forgot him.
I was wondering about him. Ooh, yes, that was in there. Another delayed strike 3 call from umpire McClellan as Neshek comes in to quiet the Giants, who get another run and lead it 4-1. Activities Fiesta Mexicana Friday night against the Dodgers, 7:05 game. All fans in attendance, along with cheering the Padres, will get a free rally towel. Plus, you can stay after the game, enjoy Friday night fireworks presented by Northgate Gonzalez Market. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at Padres.com. Friday night, every Friday night. Look through the schedule the entire season. There's going to be something special for you fans before the game, and in this case, after the game as well. Lincecum up and in to Ryan Ludwig for ball one. Ludwig rolled to third, his first time up. Aubrey Huff has left right field, moved to left, and Nate Scherholtz is the new right fielder with Burrell out of the game. So put Scherholtz in Burrell's spot, hitting sixth.
On that when Burrow got called out on strikes, I wonder if he said something to home plate umpire Tim McClellan, maybe had gotten tossed.
Good cut by Ludwig, fouls it back, 2-2. Giants lead it here, home half of the fifth inning at Petco. And the count full as Ludwig tries to get something going. It was his patient at bat along with Chase Headley in that 3-run third inning yesterday that led to the win. And forced Bumgarner to throw a lot of pitches. Strike three. Ludwig had already taken 3 steps toward the dugout before McClellan punched him out.
Well, that punch out there was a high slider from Tim Lincecum. That's number 9 on the afternoon. But a lot of the punch outs have come via the split finger fastball. But he gets the high strike there.
Chase Headley, he has struck out his only at bat. Lincecum struck out the side in the first, 2 strikeouts in the second, 2 more in the third, 1 in the fourth, and he's got the first man here in the fifth. "61 pitches and almost all of them strikes."
That's how you compete against a guy like Lincecum. You try to make him throw a lot of pitches, make him work extremely hard.
That's in there right down the middle, 3-1.
But today his stuff has really been good. Good fastball, good life on the fastball, split finger, slider.
Headley, soft single into center field, gets by Torres, and Headley keeps right on running and will cruise into second base. A double for Headley. Second hit off Lincecum. Chance for the Padres to get that run back. Well, you talk about that split finger and how tough it is to hit.
Tim Lincecum has 9 strikeouts this afternoon. We saw one, it was a slider, but look at when you're ahead in the count, it's the arm action that has the illusion of a fastball, and there's a great freeze on the grip of that split finger fastball that takes a little bit off, but also it has that little tumbling effect, which is very hard to lay off, especially when you got 2 strikes on you.
Yeah, and from a hitter standpoint, it's hard to see, the movement on the baseball when you throw a good split.
Maben, who struck out, was overmatched his first time up against Lincecum, tries to bunt his way on. How is you saw that grip, how is the split finger different than the old forkball?
Good question, because I think of forkball, I think of Elroy Face. Remember Elroy Face? To me, a forkball is like this. I mean, you really wedge it in there like that. That's a forkball.
That's way down there. You're trying to take all the speed off.
Exactly. What Tim Lincecum's doing is there's a 2-seam grip. All he does is just spreads his fingers like that across the baseball. And that takes enough off and then gives that ball that tumbling effect. Looks like a fastball, but it's actually a split finger.
It's hard to hit, both of them.
Looks like,
both of them.
And there's that grip, Dick, you were mentioning. That's not a true forkball. He's just spreading his fingers just a little bit on the sides of the baseball. Hey, almost if you looked at a clock on the 10 and the 2, Elroy Face was 3-9 on the forkball. to give you that illusion of where the fingers would be on the baseball.
Maben falls behind on the count, 1-2. Padres would like to pick up another run off Lincecum. Stay close. Nick Hundley on deck. Slap foul off the facing of the third deck. Cascades its way down through the crowd. Comes a nice souvenir. Could be the split finger. Had a lot of down on it, didn't it? Even if you do hit it, when it's down, located the way he does, you can't do anything with it. I guess the only error would be if you leave it hanging high.
He's got a pretty good idea also where to throw that pitch, because with 2 strikes, you might see it here. He'll intentionally bounce it and take Buster Posey to. That's a slider there. He'll trust Buster Posey to get down and dirty and block that thing and keep in front of home plate.
And again, from the hitter's standpoint, it looks like a fastball coming out, and then the bottom falls out of it, and by then you've already committed.
That's where you get some of those very weak-looking swings, half swings. 2-2 now to Maben. Headley ready to go from second base, 1 out.
There it is.
10 strikeouts.
Uncle Splitty.
Let's check the leaderboard, brought to you by Los Primos, home of the Monster Burrito. Starlin Castro, the sensational young shortstop of the Cubs, has the most hits in this young season, 10. But Nick Hundley with a home run his first time up has 9. Terrific start for Hundley. Chance with another base hit to get that run home, 2 out.
And with first base open, the way that Nick is swinging the bat, well, Tim Lincecum wants to lead this inning leading 4-1. One mistake here could be 4-3. You got the pitcher spot due up next. Pinch hitter on deck. Cedric the Entertainer swinging a shillelagh on the on deck circle.
And Hundley hit a first pitch fastball, so I'm going to guess he's not going to see another one. He's not going to see a fastball here. He's going to have to hit that split finger or that slider here for have a chance to drive in this run.
Up high, 2-1. Hunter with his first major league base hit yesterday in the Padres 3-1 opening day win. He's on deck and will hit for Nisha.
Pitcher's pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner.
2-2 now to Hundley. 10 strikeouts, no walks from Lincecum.
It's the 27th time in his career he has fanned 10 or more.
Career high 15 against Pittsburgh 2 years ago. Three-time All-Star Lincecum, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, the youngest ever in the National League to win the Cy Young back-to-back. He's only 26 now. Full count.
You know, for a guy with his stature, I mean, he's a max effort guy. Every pitch, it's 100% each and every pitch. So for him to sustain that over the course of a ball game, 100, 110 pitches, that's impressive.
It's that big drive toward home plate that makes all of his pitches and changes of speed so tough on the hitter, because everything looks the same. Full count. Headley at second, 2 out. Lincecum takes a base hit away from Hundley. That was on its way to center field. And where did it get Lincecum? Apparently just knocked him down, and he was able to deflect it for the out. Tough break for Hundley. After 5, Giants by 3. Middle and watch Lincecum, and he just gets out of the way. I thought he might have deflected it, but the ball had a little inside out going on. Sanchez able to get the put out at first base.
And once again, great positioning on the defense. I mean, that ball off the bat was ticketed for center field, but they were shading up the center of the diamond.
Neshek then not used for a pinch hitter, able to come back out. Thus far 2 1/3 innings from Neshek, acquired from the Minnesota Twins. He's not given up a hit. He jumps in front, 2 strikes on Brandon Belt, with Tejada and Lincecum due next. Neshek's had a terrific spring as a Butler University Bulldog, able to follow his basketball team all the way to the national finals.
I was hoping Butler was going to have a little bit better showing. Came to the gym a little cold, huh?
That UConn defense is pretty tough.
Yeah.
They didn't get many open looks, a few from the corner, but that was about it. Howard, their star player, what he went 1 for 11. I don't think he came close to being able to get a real good look at them. And if he took it inside, those big guys for UConn just ate him up.
That was a good showing for us mid-majors. Butler getting to the championship game for the 2nd year in a row, and it gives us hope that one day you could win it.
Lined over the head of first baseman Hott, and Belt has his 2nd hit of the game. He's 2 for 3. So 4 different Giants with a pair of hits: Huff, Posey, Sandoval, and now Belt.
That one just flattens out.
Yeah, it looked like he left the changeup up a little bit, and Belt able to get enough of it, hook it in the right field down the line for a base hit.
You know, it just occurred to me, Brandon Belt, and I'm not comparing him, just his physique, the way he looks in his swing a little bit. How about Von Hayes a little bit?
A little bit.
Tejada safe on an error and grounded into a double play.
Von Hayes, wasn't he like traded with like a 12-for-1 deal back with Cleveland to the? It was like a 7-for-1 deal from Cleveland to the Phillies. Boy, he had quite a future in front of him, huh?
Good player.
Yes, he was.
Two 2-0 to Tejada. Fans bringing their scorecard and keeping close watch in the action. Neshek working himself into a trouble spot here. Leadoff hit by Belt and now falls behind 3-0 to Tejada. Bruce Bochy let Posey swing 3-0 in the last inning. Ball 4. Boy, that McClellan is an announcer's nightmare, isn't he?
Sure
You
is.
just don't know what he's calling.
You know, he what's the word I'm looking for? Audibleizes.
He calls it out, so the batter and the catcher and
Right.
the infielders know he's called a strike. But then it's like 1,001, 1,002,
And then he shows
1,003.
us that's a
What do you
strike.
think it is up there? 1,004, 1,005? Do you think it was a strike? 1,006?
I don't think. I think in that last at bat to Tejada, though, I think Neshek asked him, where a couple of pitches were, and that last pitch, 3-0 pitch right there, looked pretty good, and he wasn't biting, didn't call it.
So Lincecum up there to bunt, and he lays down another beauty. Headley able to get the put on with Hudson covering, and the runners advance to second and third. 2 sacrifices for Lincecum. He helps himself with the bat.
He sure does, and I love it when a pitcher gets it done quickly. And I know I've mentioned this many times, but Greg Maddux was the same way. He's got one thing in mind: get it done and get back in that dugout.
Quite a fan club for Lincecum there behind the third base dugout. The orange and black colors of the Giants.
Looks like the left-hander is going to make a double switch here.
Hunter's going out to play center field and will replace Maben. Corey Lupke, the left-handed youngster, will come in from the bullpen. And in the double switch then, Hunter will be inserted into the number 7 spot in the batting order. So while we have an opportunity, let's take a break. Pause for these important words. He comes in from the bullpen, and his pitcher profile brought to you by Mission Federal Credit Union, where your success is our bottom line. Open an account at missionfed.com today. Lupke at San Antonio, Texas League last year. Solid 5-1. His entire record, I believe, is 9-1, including a stop at Portland late in the year. One of the most promising of the young pitchers in the organization. And he sends a fastball through the swing of the switch-hitting Torres, who has flied out left-handed and walked twice, scored back in the 5th inning. Infield drawn in. Good stop by Hundley.
Hundley just smothered that ball. That ball, tough pitch to keep in front, and he just smothered that ball, dropped it right in front of him. That's a block. He just hits that chest protector, and boom, it's right there in front of him. It's a nice play.
Went around 1-2.
It looked like a breaking ball, an off-speed pitch from Corey Luebke. He throws a fastball, slider, change, and a curveball. It'll top out about 92, 93. Well, there's no better feeling for a pitcher when you've got runners at second and third, runner at third, and he puts down the breaking ball. Have confidence to throw it down there. Nick Hundley will block it for you.
Swung on and miss, and the Ohio State Buckeye Luebke has a strikeout, 2 away. And the infield now can move back. Good slider.
Perfect placement also. That ball looked like it started on the outside corner, comes across, down and in, no damage done. Good pitch. Now the infield can back up with 2 outs.
Trying to get out of this inning, keep the Padres in reach with Lincecum throwing a gem. Sanchez tripled and scored in the first, fouled out and grounded out. And they're not going to let him swing. Intentional pass. They'll take their chances on the left-handed hitting Aubrey Huff, lefty to lefty. Huff's had a good day. RBI double in the first, RBI double the other way to left in the 5th, and safe on an error as well. Intentional walk. Tony, were you ever tempted to, the pitcher gets a little close to go ahead and try to punch one?
Yeah, I have. I had, and
did you ever?
No, I never did it. I thought about it, but it's the old axiom in baseball is if they're not going to pitch to you, let the next guy beat you. And in this situation here, I mean, even though Aubrey Huff is a left-handed hitter, he's an experienced left-handed hitter. He's a guy that's been around Major League Baseball a long time. So we probably going to have to make a quality pitch to get him out. But
good pitch to lead him off.
By the way, Hall of Famer, you were intentionally walked 203 times in your career.
Where are you coming up with these stats?
We're following you.
A little help from the truck.
Pretty good.
The guy's doing a good job down there.
Bases loaded, 1-strike pitch. Huff has a couple RBIs today and 6 on the season to lead the Giants. And the skid marks in the front of the uniform from headfirst slides out at home and out at second.
At least today they're dirt marks. In L.A. the other night there were grass stains.
He had a little trouble playing right field.
Yeah. And to me, he's kind of been the guy who, has sacrificed to get Brandon Belt in the lineup every day. He hadn't played right field at all. Had 2 days of practice and went out to right. And now they have him out in left field where he has a little bit more experience.
Good pitch.
2-2. Breaking ball, slider.
I kind of like this situation to see what Luebke's going to do. Just because it's the fastball count doesn't mean you throw a fastball. He's throwing some confidence out there by throwing that slider for a strike. Little pressure situation for the young left-hander.
Bases full, 2-2. Number to third. That's a real tough play. They're not going to get anyone. That's a base hit. You couldn't have rolled it out there any better, even if it had been fielded cleanly by Headley or Luebke. Another run for the Giants, as Huff has a 3-hit day and 3 RBIs. Yeah, that's a tough break for the kid. He makes a good pitch.
Makes a great pitch. Gets Huff right off the end, and it just goes in a perfect spot between third and home plate. Luebke tries to make a sliding stop, and we're able to come up with it.
Buddy Black walking slowly out to the mound and will make a pitching change. Luebke all but getting out of the inning. Ernesto Frieri, the right-hander, will come in to pitch to catcher Buster Posey. But the Giants continue to build their lead. Here in the 6th, it's 5-1. San Diego, and our pitching profile for Ernesto Frieri, brought to you by Lolitas at the Park, where you can enjoy quality, fresh Mexican food and a wonderful evening happy hour 7 days a week. Frieri coming up to the big club last year and was a solid performer, 1-1 with a 1.71 ERA. Look at the batting average against, 162. He inherits bases loaded, 2 out, and cleanup hitter Buster Posey, who has a 2-run homer, a looping single to right, and safe on a fielder's choice. Base is still full of Giants, and the Giants, behind Lincecum's 10 strikeouts, have a 5-1 lead.
Well, what Frieri's trying to do here, obviously, is get that 1 out to stop the bleeding. And also, relievers take pride in leaving those other guys' runners out there on the bases. Want to help his fellow relievers out, Neshek and Lubke. Leave those runners out there.
Ground ball by Hop. Posey goes the other way again. Here comes the throw to the plate, not in time, and the Giants get 2 more. Great hitting again by the young catcher. He's got a 4 RBI day. How about the combination of Huff and Posey? They've knocked in 7 today. All 7.
Yeah, ball up in the zone, doesn't try to pull it, goes the other way. Brad Hop can't get to it. Posey drives in 2, going the other way.
You know, for all young hitters out there, and Tony, you can elaborate on this, but my goodness, if you think you're a young hitter who is strong and you think you have to pull everything, this guy is the way to look at how a guy should hit. He goes to right field with the best of them.
Yeah, he does.
He'll get a share of hits and home runs the other way. We've seen that. Pulling the ball.
You know, the guy's 24 years old.
He just plays so confidently,
does.
defensively as well. Sandoval, he's got a couple of hits and 3 at-bats, 2 singles.
Let's take a look at his swing again. And see, he gets that, has that leg kick, but see that ball, he lets that ball get deep.
Yeah.
He doesn't all the time go up there looking to try to pull something. That ball, he let it get back in his stance, and he didn't try to pull it. He still hit it hard enough to get it out in the outfield to drive in 2 runs. And again, it's about getting the job done, and it doesn't mean that you always have to go to the plate to try to make something happen on the full side.
He got that done the first time with a line drive home run to left field and into the first row, about 360 feet. He's gone to right field on his last 2 base hits. Kind of like the way a guy named Tony Gwynn used to go through that 5.5 hole, a left-handed hitter to the left side. 1-2 to Sandoval. Fouled back. The Giants hungry for a win, a 1-4 start for the World Series champions. They came out swinging freely today, got 3 in the first inning, and they continue to build with a 7-1 lead for Bruce Bochy.
Coach is sitting on the sidelines today, feeling a little bit more comfortable knowing he's got a 6-run lead in Lincecum on the hill.
Ripped to right field. That should get another one home. Here comes a throw by Venable. Could be close. And sliding in and safely. Aubrey Huff. He's been all over the dirt part of this ballpark today. Doesn't go head first this time. Able to go in just under the tag. Good throw by Venable. It's 8-1. Sandoval continues the hit parade for the Giants. Middle of the lineup. 3 hits for Huff. 3 hits for Posey. And now 3 for Sandoval.
The throw by Venable. That last hop. Ball bounced up on Hundley, and Huff's able to get underneath the tag of Hundley. Hundley, see him raise that glove up to try to get that last hop. And Tim McClellan wasn't fooled. They still called him safe.
Giants now have hit around in the 6th inning. 9th man to bat is Nate Scherholtz, who entered the game in the last half of the 5th inning as a defensive replacement for Pat Burrell in the lineup. Now the Giants with 8 runs and a dozen base hits. Padres 1 run, home run by Hundley, 2 hits. A ball and a strike to Sherholz, his first time up today. Sherholz has had only 2 at-bats thus far this year, looking for his first hit. Posey at second, Sandoval at first, still 2 gone. High pop, Hundley at third. And finally, the 6th comes to a close with the Giants score 4 more and take a 8-1 lead. Skycam shot brought to you by Mossy Ford, Mossy Toyota. Visit us in Pacific Beach or online at mossy.com. With Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn and Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, bottom of the 6th inning here in San Diego, and the Giants' Tim Lincecum, a comfortable 8-1 lead. He's dominated the Padre hitters today, 10 strikeouts through 5 innings. The Giants have lost 4 close games to start the season. Their one win was 10-0 at Los Angeles, and now an 8-1 lead behind Lincecum today.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well as far as pitch count with those strikeouts. 79th pitch coming up right here.
Cedric Hunter, young man making his first major league at bats. Got into the game as a pinch runner in St. Louis, and yesterday a base hit off Guillermo Moda of the Giants for his first big league base knock.
You didn't see that pitch in AAA.
I was just gonna say you just
AA.
don't see those. You don't see those kind of pitches in the minor leagues.
Order up another one right here, maybe.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Well, Lincecum did not allow an earned run, gave up at 1 unearned run to the Dodgers and had to swallow a defeat his first time out. That ball hit well to right center field, but not well enough as Sherholz over to collect it. That ball died off the end of the bat of Hunter.
This might be one of those games with the 83rd pitch being thrown. No action in the Giants dugout with the Giants leading 8-1. Bruce Bochy's going to let Lincecum get a good old workout in out there. Get that pitch count up to where he should be. He's not going to cut his outing short at 85 pitches.
Ryan Wilson, fear the beard there, and he influenced the rest of the bullpen, or at least some of them, to go to the Beard as well last year. Nice easy ground ball to Belt at first, and Venable is out. 2 gone now in the 6th. Wilson is back on the active roster. Man who saved 48 games a year ago, most in the National League.
Yeah, Sergio Romo down in that bullpen as well. There he is. There's Sergio. He's got the old.
The collar matches the cuff with Sergio. I'm not sure about Brian Wilson. James Bond. Now he comes back from an oblique injury. Does every team in the league have an oblique injury this year?
I think it's a requirement, isn't it? Somebody's got to get an oblique. That's a tough one, though, folks. You get an oblique, you better make darn sure you're 100% ready to go, because hitters, like pitchers, you can alter those mechanics, and then you're in really a lot of trouble.
Lincecum jumps in front of Bartlett now, 1-2. Small muscles in the rib cage. It's usually the opposite side from which you throw.
Yeah.
The left side for Wilson. You didn't hear about that injury.
No, did not.
Strike 3, and that's number 11 for Tim Lincecum. 4 from his career high, and through 6 innings at Petco. Giants 8, Padres 1. Your neighborhood Subway restaurants. Hurry in and indulge a classic Subway tuna sub. You'll love the delicious tender tuna along with all your favorite veggies. Try it toasted as a tuna melt. How's that sound? Subway. Eat fresh.
You know what's great about those footlongs? You can eat one and then stick one in each pocket.
Is that what those bulges are?
Yeah.
I saw you coming into the ballpark.
For later.
Yeah. Great.
Fits perfectly.
It's like getting a bargain. You know, you cut it in half. It's like you got 2 for the price of 1.
Yep.
Brandon Belt, after a slow start, 2 hits and 17 at bats, comes in today, and after a strikeout in the 2nd, has singled sharply to right the last 2 at bats, facing Ernesto Frieri, leading off the 7th inning. Belt with a single to start that go-round 4-run inning in the 6th. Well, you go back to that 4 runs, and the left-hander Lupke, with the bases loaded, got a strikeout and got Huff to just roll a soft little ground ball up the third baseline, but that was placed so perfectly that it went for a base hit and led to the 4-run inning. Belt struck out by Frieri. And we go to Miguel Tejada, the veteran shortstop, safe on an error at third, grounded into a double play, walked and scored in the last inning. coaching now in the collegiate ranks, Tony Gwynn at San Diego State. The kids using the aluminum bat.
They are.
Would you be in favor of going to wood bats?
Well, you know, this year they just changed the requirements for aluminum bats, so you know, balls aren't flying off the bat like they used to. And to be honest, yeah, I really would. I'd really like to see us go back to wood, but
too expensive.
Yeah, it's too expensive, and honestly, swinging a wood bat is so much more difficult.
That one fouled off the mask of Nick Hundley. Something went flying.
The protector off the mask off of the umpire, Tim McClellan.
Oh, got him. That's the old turkey.
Yeah. Snapped it right off.
Protects the Adam's apple.
Yeah, that's the thing that Steve Yeager back in the day developed after he got that bat in the throat.
And it's a good addition to the equipment for catcher and umpire. Also, the extension of that mask down the wire. Grounded sharply, but just foul. Tejada flirts with another extra base hit. So you be McClellan, and here comes the pitch. Yeah, didn't bother him a bit. Veteran Jackson, Michigan.
I don't know. After having that thing hanging down there for 6 innings, I don't know if I would want to go without it.
Popped him up, but it's back out of play.
I've had this argument for many years. I say bring back the pillow. Bring back the balloon.
Which forces the umpire to make his call squared up with the catcher looking directly over the head of the catcher, which the argument was you don't see the low pitch well.
Right. See, I think these guys are good enough to where they can call the low pitch with the pillow. You can square up right behind home plate. If the catcher's set up away, you don't have to go into that slot, as they call it.
Are you going to go into the biography of Bill Clem now? And
Bill Clem, Jocko Conlon, my favorite, Bill Haller, who I love dearly.
He's about the last to use the pillow, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Off the fist, and that'll make it out of play behind home plate.
I kind of like it the way it is now. I agree with you guys, though. I'd really like to see the umpire directly behind home plate. The catcher moves. A lot of times the umpire moves.
Well, as Pete takes the inside position, as is McClellan, a little tougher to call the outside corner.
Right.
Outside low, you get blocked a bit. So you just have to know the strike zone. But he's almost squared up, isn't he?
Yeah.
This one's playable in foul territory. Headley calling. 2 away here in the 7th. Ferrari getting Belt and Tejada, and here's Tim Lincecum, who has shown the world how to sacrifice bunt. 2 well-placed bunts to help his own cause, and a ground out to third.
Now, speaking of umpires, we've got a local kid in the house, Brian Runge, the second base umpire.
3rd generation Runge, huh?
Yes, Ed, his grandpa, and then his dad, Paul, was in the booth with us earlier today. A good man. And the better half of Paul, Anastasia, his beautiful wife, is at home with the grandkids watching the game.
Teaching them how to call balls and strikes. Huh?
So we say hi to Anastasia at home. Nice family.
2 balls and a strike.
East County folk.
Ryan Runge. Boy, his granddad was a pitcher's love, wasn't he? He had that big strike zone.
Yeah. Ed was on the speaker circuit for the Padres for many years. He'd go around and talk to the service clubs and tell some great stories about his days. In fact, Ed was one of the umpires for the Don Larson perfect game in that World Series.
Who was the best umpire, ball strike umpire?
Mr. Runge, yeah.
He was the best.
He was one of the best.
Even though he was a pitcher's umpire, you knew what he was going to call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lincecum gets a taste of his own medicine as Frieri strikes out 2 in a 1-2-3 7th inning. They're going to stand and stretch in San Diego and hope. Padres down by 7. Night and Sunday, and on Saturday night, game time 5:35. Get to the ballpark early. The first 25,000 of you fans will receive a Padres mesh cap presented by San Diego County Credit Union. Call 619-795-5555 or visit Padres.com and get your tickets. That's Saturday night, 5:35. Your free ball cap. Well, Tim Lincecum with 11 strikeouts, and you know he takes great pride in the fact that he is the strikeout champion in the National League the last 3 years. No ordinary feat. In fact, since World War II, only 2 other pitchers have led the National League in strikeouts. One is Randy Johnson, and the other was Warren Spahn. And if you want to go to the only other giant to lead the league in strikeouts 3 straight years, you've got to go all the way back to the turn of the century and Christy Mathewson. So Lincecum, a very special sort of pitcher, and he's showing that today. 11 strikeouts, no walks.
And Tony, is that fair? Up 8-1, first pitch here to Orlando Hudson is a curveball for a strike.
No, but that's what makes him so special.
That ball into the corner, and Huff with a tough chance, and that ball is off the wall for a double. So the ball will find you. Aubrey Huff had trouble in right field against the Dodgers, and he was a little hesitating on going back for that one as Hudson's drive carries well. The third hit by the Padres, and they're all extra base hits, 2 doubles and a home run. That brings us to our comparison, brought to you by the San Diego Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. Toyota. Lincecum last year, Padres actually in a couple of outings they were able to score some runs off the right-hander, and against the rest of the league a much better ERA. Not today so far, but Hudson gets the 7th inning started with a 2-bagger.
You know, when I look at those numbers, and Tony, you can elaborate, but that ERA, the one thing I reminisce or recall from last year is that they didn't really pound Lincecum, but they kind of peppered him, putting the ball in play, good situational hitting, finding the holes to result into that 5 ERA.
And the other thing that I remember in the games that I did was the fact that he had a command that he's had today. You know, he fell behind hitters, ended up walking a few guys.
Brad Huff struck out both times at bat. Now the count 2-1 on the Padre first baseman. We're talking about the athletic prowess of Lincecum, a gymnast in terms of backflips and walking on his hands. in high school, he decided, well, I'm going to take up the game of golf. I'd like to make the golf team. And so he goes out, plays 3 rounds of golf, but he had to shoot 40 in 9 holes. And the 4th time he went out on the course, shoots a 39.
Wow. I hate guys like that.
Hop strikes out for the 3rd time, chasing that high fastball, and number 12 in the books for Lincecum.
Nearing 100, and that's probably going to be the this is probably the last inning for Tim Lincecum, because there is action in that bullpen. Jeremy Affeldt is heating up.
Got a right-hander going as well, Sergio Romo. Here's Ludwig. He's grounded weakly to 3rd, and he called out on strikes. See if anyone has escaped the strikeout wrath of Lincecum.
Nick Hundley's the only guy, I think, Dick.
He's the only one, and the pitcher spot, Stauffer and Hunter hitting 9th. Hundley with a home run and a hard ground ball to 2nd. Ludwig almost unbuttoned his shirt with that one. And that's been a pattern. Lincecum has worked Ludwig inside every at bat. Hudson at 2nd. 1 out. Well, Brad Hopp has to be muttering to himself. An 0 for 13 start. 3 strikeouts today. Check swing, and it's in there.
Looks like a little cutter / slider. We'll call it a slider at 85.
2-0. Ludwig looking for a heater. Had a slider and was a little bit fooled on it.
Three and 1. Along with all of the superlatives that we're throwing around about Tim Lincecum, I'm not sure I believe this one. Tony, in your best day, could you stand at home plate and throw the ball and hit the center field fence?
No. No way.
Strike 2. Lincecum claims he can throw it 400 feet.
I believe it.
I mean, it's like a catapult in his arm, you know?
I believe it.
What a javelin thrower he'd be, huh?
Yeah.
With his form.
Yeah, good call. He'd be great in cricket, too, because they have to keep their arms straight. They can't bend their arm. The bowlers, high slider.
13 strikeouts. An overwhelming presentation by this young right-hander.
High slider.
Well, we just kind of got away from him a
You know
little
what?
bit.
I take that back. Looking at this, I think that was a high split finger. Saw it out of his hand right there. I think I saw his fingers wrapped around the baseball there, and that's the beauty of the split finger. Sometimes you'll get that funky rotation as if it's a slider rotation.
We'll take a look at it after this first pitch to Chase Headley, who has one of the 3 hits, a double to left field.
Let's take a look. Yeah, that's a split finger grip right there, and it just came out with that slider. Wow.
Like it had slider spin on it.
Yeah.
So far, Hudson, a leadoff double, still stranded at 2nd. 102nd pitch from Lincecum out of the zone, 2-0.
Seems like Lincecum's just getting his work in now, huh? Just kind of mixing it up a little bit. Trying to get out of this inning, get out of this game with about 105, 106 pitch effort.
He apparently is going to fall just short of his career high in strikeouts. This one is one hopped at 3rd. Sandoval able to throw out Headley, and that probably is the last of Tim Lincecum, who gets a standing ovation from the Giant fans behind the 3rd base dugout. 3 hits, 1 run, 13 strikeouts for Lincecum. post-game show from the Channel 4 studios. Sequan Casino get away for the day at Sequan Casino. Buddy Black goes to the bullpen. His fifth pitcher today is Samuel Dedono. His major league debut, his numbers at Colorado Springs, not major league debut, but debut with the Padres. He did come up with the Colorado Rockies. And he probably will be with the club through the weekend. And then Matt Lato's on the disabled list and feeling that right shoulder is 100%. Will be rejoining the club from the DL and is scheduled now to work the Monday night game against Cincinnati. And they'll have to clear a spot, and it figures it will be Dedono who will go to Tucson, the AAA farm club.
Only throws a fastball, a cut fastball, curveball, and a changeup, topping out about 91 miles an hour for the right-hander.
Torres scored a run, walked a couple of times. Fly to center and struck out, to be followed by Sanchez. And then the middle of that order for San Francisco has been really outstanding with the bat today. Huff 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Posey 3 hits, 4 RBIs. Sandoval 3 hits and a run batted in, counting for all 8 scores. Show you the depth of the Giants. I was shocked when they sent down Travis Ishikawa, left-handed batter, good pinch hitter, and no one picked him up. He was out there as a free agent, but he cleared waivers, and so he'll be playing AAA ball. He's a pretty good hitter. Three and one to Torres, former high school sprint star, batting from his strong side, the left side.
It'd be interesting to see what the Giants do when Cody Ross comes back. When he gets healthy. Yeah. You know, what will they move Huff back to first, and you know, Brandon Belt go to the bench, or Huff go to right, Cody Ross go to left, and Pat Burrell sit.
Aaron Rowan is another part of that for him.
Absolutely.
They keep him with his big salary. That ball slapped into left center field. A long run for Maben. It gets by him. Actually, that's Hunter now in center field. And Torres, with all that speed, sprints around second and then puts on the brakes with a double. Hit number 13 for the Giants. First for Torres. So everyone in the lineup with a base hit except Tejada and the pitcher.
Yeah, breaking the ball, he stays back on it, and you see it slicing away from Cedric Hunter.
You know, it's weird. We saw that pitch there. It looked like it was down and in. How does a guy take that ball the opposite way? Usually a left-handed hitter, a breaking ball down and in, he'll pull it down the right field line. But Torres does a nice job of somehow hitting the inside part of that baseball and sending it to left center field.
That's just thinking about using the whole field. That's all. You haven't made up your mind what you're going to do. Just hitting the ball where it's pitched, and got a ball that kind of hung up in the zone a little bit, and he sliced it in left field for a double.
Sanchez tripled back in the first inning when the Giants scored 3 times, and first 4 men in the lineup hit for, or 5 men in the lineup hit for the cycle, team cycle. A triple by Sanchez, a double by Huff, RBI, 2-run homer Posey, and Sandoval then with a single. Set the stage for a lopsided game today. And the beauty of baseball, as we look at that half full glass, is that whether it's 2-1 or 50-1, when the game's over, you only lose one time.
Yeah.
And more times than not, you only have to wait 24 hours. You don't have to wait a whole week like in football.
Good cut. At a 2-0 pitch.
And it's easy to turn a page on a game like today. Hey, Lincecum's been lights out. He had great stuff. Struck out 13. You knew coming in this was going to be a hard game. This was going to be a difficult game.
It's going to be a 2-1. You're going to have to get a couple of runs somehow and hold them to 1.
Yeah, and if you don't, what's happened today could happen.
I mean, you get 3 runs, the Giants in the first inning, and you know Lincecum's got good stuff. It's uphill.
Yeah. for a while there after the home run by Hundley, 3-1. You're thinking, hey, we're right back in this game now.
Lincecum, along with striking out 13, did not walk a batter. Fouled at the plate. 3-2 on Freddie Sanchez. This is a day in history for baseball. 1973, something happened for the first time in this great game.
1973.
Louis Tiant was on the mound, and he pitched to Ron Bloomberg.
Ah, the DH came into play. Yeah.
First batter, DH, 73.
New York Yankee, correct?
Right. Ball 4 to Sanchez. They don't know. Double Torres, walk Sanchez. And just licking their chops are Aubrey Huff, Posey, and Sandoval with a chance to pick up some more runs. Huff, RBI double, safe on an error, another RBI double, and a run batted in with a single, 3 for 4. 3 RBIs to give him 7 to lead the team. He was a terrific acquisition, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Was really kind of a quiet pickup. I mean, he's always been a solid professional hitter. And he really carried the Giants a lot of games last year.
Yep. Talked about it earlier. He's a professional hitter. He's a guy that understands how to hit with guys in scoring position, how to use the whole field.
Are you able to convince your young hitters at San Diego State to use the whole field?
No, I wish I could. Dick, that's the hardest part, is getting guys to trust their ability to use the whole field.
They all want to yank it.
Oh, yeah.
Get that home run.
And here, even in this situation, this is a situation where you're deep into the Padres bullpen. You got a young guy out there on the hill. And offensively, it would be easy to say, okay, 2-0 here. I'm going to get a fastball. I'm going to try to be super aggressive with it. And still, Huff is making him throw a strike here.
Well, Daytono is not doing a good job. 10 balls, now 6 strikes. Got to harness that stuff and kind of. Well, this is an opportunity for Bud Black to see Daytono do what he, can do in this situation. There's no pressure. They're down 8-1. Pound the strike zone.
Off the glove of Hop, and the throw to second. They'll get the force as the runners had to hold to see whether or not that ball was going to be captured by Hop. Torres moves to third, and safe on the fielder's choice is Huff.
Still a force play at second base, and Orlando Hudson backing up, firing the strike.
So first and third for Posey, who has a 4 RBI game, 2-run homer, 2-run single, and a blue pit as well, 3 for 4. So as we go back to the study of Posey's batting stance, and he uses that front leg kick as a timing device, what was the negative about using that, back in your day, Tony? Why didn't you do it? Not
getting your foot down in time so that you could be in position to take the swing. And that's one of the reasons why I knew I couldn't do it, was because my hands needed to be back when my front foot hit the ground, and I could never kick my leg up high enough in order to get my hands in a good hitting position. So I was spread out a little bit more, but.
Good looking breaking ball there. There is the testimony to the Hall of Famer and Mr. San Diego baseball, Tony Gwynn, outside Petco Park.
Well, that's the position you tried to get to every time. On that top hand, the palm was up towards the sky, and he does that very well, Buster Posey.
Right field line slicing into foul territory, and out of play in the bullpen.
If I could just comment on that statue. We go around the country and see some statues outside the ballparks. Whoever, and I think who did that. Whoever did that work, my goodness, that is right on. Because a lot of the statues at ballparks, they're out of proportion. Like their hands are too big or their head is too big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sam Musial in St. Louis talked about his for They did it a couple of times.
Like the Willie Stargell one in Pittsburgh. It's out of whack. It doesn't look to scale. But the guy did a fantastic job on that one. You know who did it, Tony?
I can't remember his name. You put me on the spot. But
we have to find out.
We'll find out now.
The artist deserves a little
absolutely
330 average here.
That's beautiful.
When we sat down and talked about that statue, he said, "What image do you want?" And that's what I wanted. Because that's what I worked hard for. Was try to
struck him out. They get Posey with runners at first and third. 2 away now to Pablo Sandoval. Pedano with runners at first and third and 2 outs now here in the 8th. Sandoval singled to left in the first, fly to center, singled to right the last 2 times up for a 3-for-4 afternoon. New slimmed down version of the Kung Fu Panda. Do we have any of those over at our famous San Diego Zoo? Kung Fu Pandas? Think so.
Last time I went to the zoo, no, but we'll put Ron Burgundy on it right now. Go over to the zoo and send Brick Tamlin over there.
He's the ace news here at Channel 4, isn't he?
That's right. Maybe it was Brian Fantana who was on that Panda Watch. There's the Panda Watch right there. Barry Zito gave him that nickname, didn't he? I think he did. He dubbed him Kung Fu Panda. Good breaking ball.
Wild swing. Took something off that breaker. 1-2.
I thought the thing about Sandoval that made him such a good hitter was his ability to use the whole field. And earlier today we saw him carve a ball in the left field for a base hit, but I thought last year at times he, especially left-handed, really trying to pull the ball too much.
Pulls that one on the ground to Hop with Dedeno covering, and the inning is over. The Giants threaten for more, but they leave 2, and we go to the home half of the 8th. The new San Francisco Giant pitcher, and an 8-1 advantage. Flex 10. Have you gotten yours yet? Flex 10 packs on sale. 20% savings. $11 is low and great seat locations. Use the tickets. 10 at one game, or you go to 10 different games as a solo. Get your Flex 10 pack today and call 619-795-5008. Sergio Romo to clean up things for the Giants, or at least that's the design of Bruce Bochy. His numbers from a year ago, solid ERA and opponent's batting average. He won 5, lost 3. Fear the Beard contingent.
You know, Brian Wilson got all the love out of that bullpen for San Francisco, but Sergio Romo, you look at those numbers, he had a great year. Fewer hits than innings pitched. Strikeouts were up. He throws a fastball, slider, and a change. 88 to 91 on that heater.
Chris DeNorfia batting for Daytona. Had a couple of hits yesterday. Falls behind 0-2. Hundley on deck, and then Cedric Hunter here in the last of the 8th inning as Lincecum goes 7 innings, 1 run, the home run, 3 hits, no walks, 13 strikeouts.
It's a good day in the big leagues.
Sharply hit to Hopper. Tejada casual fielding of the ball and throws him out. He acts like he's been out there before.
I know. It's amazing to me that Tejada was at third base when Padres acquired him last year when they brought him here to play shortstop.
The mystery's been solved, Tony Gwynn. The artist for your statue, William Behrens.
That's right.
He also did Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays. And there you are. Now that's like you hitting off the tee. That ball right there. You wanted, that always stunned me. I thought when you guys hit off the tee, you had the ball out in front, but you had it right there.
Yeah, right in the center.
And that did what?
Because if it's in the center.
Fair ball here off the bat of Hundley, hustling hard, but thrown out by Sandoval.
The reason why I hit off in the center of my stance was because in order to hit the baseball squarely, you had to do everything right. Where if you hit the ball out in front, you don't have to mechanically be correct in order to hit the ball hard.
So practicing on that tee, well, here you're the Hall of Famer, one of the great hitters of all time. You're hitting on the tee not to see how far you can hit whatever else. It's all the technique.
Mechanically, I wanted to be able to do the same thing every time I took a swing. So
I'm taking a shot in the dark here. Did he use the picture off the Sports Illustrated?
No.
No?
No.
Was there a certain picture?
There was. Yeah, there was. There's we went through a lot of pictures, a lot of things. He'd asked me, what was important, and I said I worked hard every day to try to take this swing, and I showed him a picture, and that's what the statue was.
I think the one in the Sports Illustrated, you're kind of following through already, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of working your way out of the box. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right.
This is Rob Johnson, his first at bat as a Padre, former Seattle Mariner catcher. Hitting for Hunter, give him a chance in a 8-1 game to at least see some pitching. Backup catcher to Nick Hundley. And he is quickly out of there, disposed on a strikeout by Sergio Romo. A 1-2-3 inning again. We go to the 9th, 8-1 to the Bay Boys.
Francisco. You want to take the Padres with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Padres game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Padres.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
You know, that's really terrific. When we were at Wimbledon last summer, I was able to actually listen. It was as if the broadcast was right next door. And you can get TV as well.
Awesome.
You really are in
Great
touch
stuff
with your team.
Yep.
Chad Qualls, veteran right-handed reliever, acquired by the Padres in the offseason with the Tampa Bay Rays last year. His numbers. Sinker baller.
And that sinker was really working for him this spring, even in Arizona. And Chad said in St. Louis, his arm feels better than ever. That sinker, he also has a slider and a split finger. About 91, 92. He'll get it up, though, to 94.
Bases sure holds. High fly ball, left center field. Denorfia now in center, calling off Ludwig for the out. So Denorfia in center. Alberto Gonzalez now takes over at shortstop. Rob Johnson behind the plate with Qualls on the mound. Gonzalez, acquired from the Washington Nationals in a trade during spring training, will be the backup utility man. Here's Belt, 2 for 4, 2 singles, 2 strikeouts.
There's that sinker. Good power sinker down and away.
Late break on that sinker, too.
A lot of broken bats, lefties, if he's on with that, and they offered that pitch.
Whoa, comebacker. Glove was in the right spot. Well struck. Belled out 1-3. 2 gone here in the top of the ninth to Miguel Tejada. He must feel like nobody loves him. Everyone else has got a base hit. Just go over there and sit in the corner after the game.
That's how it is. And, you know, guys are putting good swings together and punching some hits together, and you're all of a sudden you're the only guy in the lineup without a knock.
Might have been deflected by Qualls, and Hudson makes the out at first base. We're going to say 1-4-3 as Qualls works an easy 1-2-3 ninth inning. Last call, 8-1 San Francisco. Against the Dodgers, 6:30 airtime for the Honda Dealers pregame show. Recap of the action today and tomorrow, and the chatter from the Padres dugout, and Bob Scanlon's keys to a Padre win tomorrow on the, well, not tomorrow, but Friday on the Honda Dealers pregame show. Well, here he is, the bearded one, Brian Wilson, just activated, the 29-year-old popular bullpen ace of the Giants. Had a big hand as he came in.
Oh, he's letting that thing go, isn't he?
Yes.
My goodness.
In with a 95-mile-an-hour ball.
He could pitch for the House of David. Remember that team?
Exactly, yeah.
They used to pull that hidden ball trick. Guy would hide the baseball in his beard and get the runner leading off at base. That's awesome.
I'd probably fall for that too, you know. That's just what's sad.
Well, it looks like he's getting through his pitches well. You know, he had that oblique injury in the left side. He can get it up there, 99 miles an hour. A slider and a change to go along with that fastball.
Will Venable struck out twice against Lincecum and grounded to first. Fly ball hit to right. Sherholtz giving ground. One away.
And this is a good opportunity for Bruce Bochy to put his closer in there with an 8-1 lead, give him an inning of work, see how he responds.
Alberto Gonzalez first at bat here at home for the Padres. Can play third, short, or second. Had a good spring with the Nationals, hitting around 350, but not known for his bat.
Good movement of that 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
$24,368. Some of them rooting for the Giants. Gonzalez, a lifetime 253 hitter. Only a couple of home runs in the big leagues. And they count 1-2. Ryan Ludwig and some of his new teammates kidding Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Of course, Adrian Gonzalez was the big star here for so many years. Now in Boston, off the leg of Wilson, and Alberto has a base knock. Fourth Padre hit. First for Gonzalez in that San Diego Padre uniform.
It looked like a slider on the outer half. It looks like it gets Wilson in the backside, the right or left calf.
Not sure if that ball hadn't hit Wilson, that it had enough on it to get in the center field.
Brian's just kind of shaking his head.
Like, you know, can't believe he got hit.
Out of the way.
Yeah, on a ground ball that probably was going to be an out.
Orlando Hudson has a double, 3 trips. Ball and a strike to the veteran infielder, looking for base hit. He got his first as a left-handed hitter, that double. He won for 9 on the season from the left side. That scatters some fans down below.
You know, there's a lot of ball players out there. With success comes notoriety, and you know, guys can put on a hat and put on some sunglasses during the offseason if they want to go to the mall and go, you know, do a little window shopping. Good luck with Brian Wilson. This guy's not going to stick out in the mall.
He didn't go around. That beard is so full it almost looks fake. You know, because it doesn't quite match the rest of his hair.
He dyes it black. You can see that he's got the mohawk working as well. Got the little tail there in the back.
Nice look. Full count now to Hudson. And the picture, you fellas were laughing in our last break of the picture in the media guide here for San Francisco.
Hilarious.
He looks like a man on a wild rampage. I mean, you'd arrest him on his eyes alone.
Yeah.
Ball 4, just missed. First walk of the game to the Padres. 2 on with 1 out. Hey, a couple of more walks, 3 or 4 errors, and 4 or 5 hits, and they're back in this.
We'd like to see Brad Hott get on the board.
Yeah, he needs to get a base hit. He's 0 for 13 on the new season. Struck out 3 times today.
You know, like a pitcher wanting to get that first victory underneath his belt. That hitter, man, each at bat. And I'm sure guys put pressure on themselves, Tony, no matter how many years you've been in the big leagues.
And I think when you go to a different team, too, I mean, you know, Padres have given him an opportunity to be an everyday guy, playing first base. He wants to show the Pods that, you know, he's worthy of that, and it was a pretty good investment. But you can see he's starting to press. His last couple of bats against Lincecum, he started chasing balls out of the zone, and, you know, the last pitch right there by Wilson was up in the zone. So.
He falls behind 2 strikes.
When you're going good, it seems like you're always 2-0. When you're going bad, it seems like you're always down.
You ever start a season 0 for 13 or worse?
Oh, yeah. Started 1 for 18 and, you know, was hitting. I wasn't even on an interstate.
Was that your worst slump, 0 for 18?
Yeah.
2 on, 1 out, and the 2-strike pitch coming up. So you start slowly, and what'd you hit that year?
I won a batting title.
Okay.
Yeah, 357, something like that. And it's normal. If you get off to a slow start, that's what you do. You start to press. You want to hurry up and get things turned around.
Ball 2 upstairs. Well, Hott was very impressive throughout the spring. I mean, he has immense power to all fields. Padres hoping he can get a hold of a few this year. He's always hit well at Petco as a Colorado Rocky. Ooh, shattered bat. Pieces flying all over the infield. Tejada can't get him at first, throws it away, and that will score Hudson. And around to third. Actually, scores Gonzalez, and around to third is Hudson. There's so much shrapnel flying around the infield, I wasn't sure what Tejada would pick up and throw to first base. That exploded the bat.
You never know. Maybe that's the hit right there that gets him going.
When you saw him on with a slider, yes, it was a slider down by the label.
And the throwing error by Tejada. The run comes in on the error.
So they give him a hit on that no RBI, correct?
Correct.
Right. So 1 for 14 looks a whole lot better than 0 for 14.
An 8-2 game as Ludwig, who has grounded out and struck out twice. Got 1 strike on him. Runners at first and third, 1 out. Enjoy the handsome lead to get a couple 3 runs here in the final at bat. It leaves you in a better frame of mind at the end of the day's work against the top relief pitcher.
We're going to see how long of a leash that Bruce Bochy has for Wilson. Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander, is warming up in the bullpen. Mark Gardner, the bullpen coach, is looking. There's Mark on the left in the jacket, former right-hander, and he'll give the hat sign to the dugout when the lefty is. It looks like he's ready to go.
He's ready, yeah. Ludwig chases, and that's the 15th man to strike out for the Padres today. 3 times for Ludwig.
And Boch is saying to himself, he's got himself a good workout today, so I'm going to go into the bullpen.
23 pitches, that's enough for Wilson today.
Yep.
So Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander, comes in. Give us a smile, Brian. Maybe next time. Padres down to their final out. First pitch to Hundley from Jeremy Affeldt, deep to center field. Off the wall. That'll score 2 more on a ringing double by Chase Hundley, his second of the game, and it's an 8-4 game. Hundley with his 6th and 7th RBIs of this new season. That's best of the Padres. Those runs will be charged to Brian Wilson.
Chase Hundley not wasting any time. Got a fastball that he could handle and went right back to center of the diamond. Torres unable to run that ball down, and Padres get a couple more.
Nice to see Chase putting a little pop in it from the right side as well.
And that's been his soft side as a switch hitter, even though it's his natural side. It's frustrated him more than anyone. Denorfia's second at bat. He grounded out his first time. All of a sudden, in an 8-4 game, you look back at that 4-run inning in the 6th, and that one little roller off the bat.
Aubrey Huff, yep, that's exactly right.
And now the Padres at 1-1, a couple of strikes left here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 gone. Headley out at second. Tried to catch the outside corner with that breaking ball. Jorge Cantu has a bat. He's on deck if Denorfia can keep it alive. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, down to the final strike. Giants fans in this crowd of 24,000 plus rooting for a final strike. Doesn't get it. Outside. Full count. True to tradition, that plate umpire, you got to throw a good strike to end the game. That was close. Ball 4. Padres still alive. There's just one more base runner from bringing the tying run to the plate. Denorfia joins Headley. First and second, 2 gone, and Jorge Cantu steps in. Eighth man to bat here in the 9th inning. Chops this one toward third. That's going to be a very tough play for Sandoval, but he rolls foul. Took a Giants bounce and kick foul. No one was going to throw out Cantu, even though he's hardly a speed merchant.
It's always that second bounce. It's got that funky spin on it.
Lincecum suddenly an interested spectator. This win is suddenly at risk.
You guys are right. Sandoval had no chance of throwing Cantu out. Luckily for him, it took that second bounce and kick to the left, because he might have tried to barehand that or something and tried to make a play. Instead, it goes foul, and it's just strike one.
Cantu is 1 for 7 on the season. An RBI sacrifice fly yesterday. Strike 2. Again, the Padres down to their last strike. Three runs in here in the 9th. 8-4 San Francisco. 2 on. Cantu down on the count, 2 strikes. Drives to left field, and it's in for a base hit. Here comes another run. No, they're going to hold Headley at third. No reward for that risk. And the tying run, fans, comes to the plate here in the 9th inning as the Padres bat around. And what seemed like a sure victory now has a little theater to it. Drama here in the 9th. Rob Johnson, the scheduled hitter, and here comes Bochy. 16th year of managing in the big leagues, 5th year for the Giants after skippering the Padres. Ramon Ramirez, who pitched yesterday, comes in from the bullpen with a tying run at the plate. Bases loaded in the 9th. 8-4 the score. And the Padres 6 up, 6 down. Couldn't get the ball out of the infield. 5 ground outs and a pop fly. Bases loaded. Headley at third, Denorfia at second, Cantu at first, and Rob Johnson the batter. 3 runs home. 9 men have come to bat for San Diego here in the final inning. Will Venable on deck should Johnson get a base hit. Starts him with a breaking ball strike.
Pretty good pitch, too, because we know that Johnson is looking for the old number 1.
High fly ball, shallow center. Torres, and the Giants win 8-4. Padres threaten, make it interesting in the 9th. But San Francisco, with their second win of the season, they go home for their grand opener on Friday, 2-4. And Tim Lincecum has his first win of the season, well earned by the right-hander who struck out 13 and didn't walk a man. The final then, the Giants 8 and the Padres 4. And we'll be back with the final totals right after this.